All right, recording in progress. Here we go. So, go ahead, Kayla.
The thing is, he only has the first quarter as a sophomore. Then he starts his junior year.
Oh yeah, because he's
And
gonna.
he turns 15 next month.
Oh my goodness. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna get started, and that way we can maybe hop off a little bit early if we get through everything. But I want to give you guys some announcements with some changes. TJ has something really awesome prepared that I'm really excited for, and Caitlin too. And then I was on the Diamond and Above call. Was anybody else on it on Wednesday? Marlene, Caitlin? Okay, well, what they taught us was amazing for host to post. And so if there's time at the end, then I want to show you. I just started using it today. But just like you guys who saw Kayla's post, like her gummies post blew up. Kayla, how many times would you say that you use that soundbite? Have you used it?
I've used that probably 6 times.
Okay, so and
And
like have
I
any of
have
the other ones
over
blown up?
9,000. I have over 9,000 views on it right now.
Yeah, but the ones before, had any of them ever blown up before?
No.
Right. And so like recreating your same thing and just being consistent is key. So that's going to come into play at the very end when I share this new host post thing with you guys. Okay. So first thing, a couple of changes. We are not going to be doing new distributor trainings every Tuesday anymore, just because it was very convenient in what we needed when we were enrolling tons of distributors. Like when COVID was going on, we were enrolling tons. When new kits were coming out with like discounts, but now our discounts like have kind of lost their sparkle, I feel like, because they've, hey, I've got discounts. And so, and getting back into school summertime, like just distributor enrollments haven't been as high as they have in the past. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just do one new distributor training at the end of the month, and I'll just like post it in the pack page, and it will be for anybody who joined. So we're going to do one at the end of August, and it'll be for anybody who joined in August to hop on, and we're going to make sure that they get their auto shipment set up. We'll make sure we take time to do on that. We'll make sure that they send out all of their samples to themselves, so that way they have those and they don't miss out on those. We'll make sure that we go over how to go Ruby, because that's what we want them to work on, the second month that they're in, and just be there to answer any questions like, hey, do you have your board set up? Do you know how to use it? Do you have your Telegram? Do you know how to use it? Do you know how to use the daily task list? And so we're just going to do one call at the end of the month for every distributor that joined in August. And so to help train our new distributors, obviously there's the emails that literally gives them videos and walkthroughs for everything they need to do. So just making sure that your new distributor gets plugged into the subscriber link there, then that will give them training information. And then honestly, just get them on a power hour, whether it's one of the ones that we have on the pack call sheet, whether it's one that your own individual team is doing, whether it's one that you do, whether it's one that corporate does, whether it's a sideline sister, like just get on a power hour with them and help them do the things. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about that? Any concerns? Any extra ideas you want to throw in? Okay, if something comes to your mind, then send me a message. So no Tuesday new distributor calls. I will post at the end of the month which day we'll have it. It'll be close. It won't be on month end because that would be death, but either like 2 or 3 days before the month is over. Okay. All right. The second thing, host to post. So I had a conversation with Kelly Jo, and to be honest, I am not loving Kay's host to post anymore. I don't know if you guys are putting $15 into that pot, but we just don't know when the drawings are. We don't know what they are. Like we just found out what the next one was in September, which is all of the money. And I feel dumb because at the very beginning of August, I was saying, hey, we have a giveaway next Monday. We have a giveaway next Monday, waiting for what that giveaway was next Monday. And then all of a sudden on the 15th, we find out it's $750 on the last day of the month. And so I reached out to, or on September 1st. So I reached out to a couple of my group chats to see if they had anything that was bigger going on that maybe like we could latch on to. and nobody really had anything. And so I thought, you know what, then why don't we do it? And so our thought is, now this is not official because I want to make sure that you guys are on board, that you feel like this would be a good fit. And we're just going to go with majority rules here. But I like the idea of doing a new giveaway every week because it gets me excited to get host posters in. If I had like a humongous one, like I know Samantha Bowers was like doing Disney for the whole entire month, maybe I could keep myself excited about that. But like, I can't keep myself excited about $100 cash drawing on the last day of the month. And like, the people already made 3 posts. And so like, do they want to keep making posts for the same giveaway? Does that make sense? And so I like doing a new giveaway every week. And I have not seen a host post group that does that. So I asked Kelly Jo if it's something that she would want to take on if we invited Sidelines to be a part of it with us. Now, the reason why we would invite Sidelines is because then we can get more money in the pot. So that way we can do more giveaways. Does that make sense? Now, in order to do Sidelines, that means we can't really do a first month freebie, which I really like that we could do that for our distributors, give them like a first month, you know, to just be in and not have to put any money in. And so what I would like, so the form that we're going to create is not going to say first month freebie. It's going to say it costs $15 and you can pay Venmo, PayPal, or whatever. So it's just going to say it costs $15 and to fill out the form. But I'm going to ask Kelly Jo that if we have distributors that are brand new that want to get in, if we can send her a personal message and say, hey, I just signed Esther up. She's joining the Host to Post group, but not even filling out the form, but like we just invite them to it and then ask for Kelly Jo just to approve them. And she can keep a list for our team as far as who are the new distributors to get in free their first month. How does that sound? Like, does that make sense? And so like us as leaders, we like you guys who are on this call right now, like you're hearing this, so you know that this is an option for your new distributors. But it's not something that we would talk about on calls that had Sidelines and things like that. Okay, because we would be the only ones that are going to give our team a first month freebie because it's what we do for our team. Okay. And then it would be $15 to get in. And then we want to do the drawing every Friday. And then on the live video, we'll be sharing what the next week's giveaway is. And so we'll be like, you know, so excited, so-and-so just won $150 or however much we had to give away that week. And then next week, you know, we're giving away a $50 Amazon card. Make sure you get back to the person who invited you here. And then you already know what the giveaway is for next Friday. And the times will be consistent. And knowing what the giveaway is will be consistent because we'll make sure that we plan it at the very beginning of the month. So downfall is if we want to do more giveaways, it has to cost more to get in. So instead of being $5 to give it in, it's going to need to be 15. And then you know, we're opening it up to everyone so we can have more. So it's not official. Just wanted to put it out there to you guys. Will you just write yes or no? Or if you want to send me a personal message, or if you have concerns and you want to unmute or things that I'm forgetting. Okay, I see.
Sounds good.
Yeses. Is that, so after I said it, is that fair? After I said it out loud, is that fair for us to allow our team to do a first month freebie and not other people?
I think it should just be $15 for everyone. I don't, you know,
because it's just hard because we can't, like, how would we know if a Sideline Sisters had a first month? But like, I don't know. That's the part that's going to be hard to figure out officially. And
honestly, I don't think there should be any freebies. If you're going to add everybody into it, there shouldn't be any freebies because then you're just going to lose track of where you're going to be and where you're going to go.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're going to add Sidelines and you're going to add everybody into the pot, then I mean, might as well just go for broke and just start charging right at the beginning.
Maybe. Okay, I have an idea. Okay, I have an idea. I have an idea. I will do a giveaway in the pack page maybe, and it'll just be an announcement post for any new distributors who join our team and get added to the pack page, that they only can put their giveaway people on there. And I could just do a small one each month, like, a $50 giveaway for at the end of the month for everyone who's part of the pack who joins that month and wants to host posts. I just feel like a lot of new people aren't really utilizing it. And if we do have one or two, then it's not like, then I just thought, well, we could just message Kelly Jo and just get them in there. Cause I mean, you guys have all signed distributors recently. Do you have any that like immediately start doing host to post like a boss?
Or I have another idea because it could be a little bit much, trying to track everyone. So, because a lot of new people, they don't do, from my experience, they don't do a lot of host to post anyway. What if they give us the name, like, if I sign, let's say I sign TJ or whatever, and then he has people that posted for him, give me the names, and I, along with it, just the first month. Let's say he just had like a few, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Cause I agree, like with Kayla, she said it discourages newbies from host posts if they can't afford it. Like, I agree, but if they had this to offer right away, then that would be good. So I like that idea, Merlane. I could also personally give something away, or we could reach out to Kelly Jo and do a message. So we'll work with those 3 ideas and we'll come up with what's best. So as far as August goes, host post is the same, but we'll be doing this bigger in September. And so we'll be able to share it with sidelines and things like that. Sound good? Okay. So we talked about host post, we talked about the new distributor call. And then the last thing I need to talk to you guys about is the pack call for Thursday nights. On the Diamond Call, corporate is starting to do a new call on Thursday nights. It's called, they've been doing sample selling, but now they're going to be doing sharing or story sharing. And they're going to have a different VIP leader interviewing diamond and above leaders each Thursday. And Cami asked us that if we had a call on Thursday night, if we would change it, because she wants people to be invested in this. And honestly, I think there's so much power in hearing people's stories. And so I would love for us, or, for us to move our pack call to a different day. So that way it would give you the opportunity to hear stories. And so my preference is just Wednesdays, like hump day, halfway through the month for pack call, same time, or Tuesday, since we won't be doing the new distributor call. So do you guys have a preference? Will you write Tuesday or Wednesday in the comments? Okay, I see mostly Tuesday. If Facebook will let me, I'm going to make a post in the pack page. I tried to make a post 3 times in there today and it would not let me post. If it won't let me post, I'll have somebody else make it. But obviously there's 32 of us on here, so not everybody. But if Tuesday is what will work best, we'll just go with the majority. And so I'll make a post in the pack page and we'll keep it the same time, but just shift the day of it. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead and get started with our call. I'm really, really excited, you guys. TJ is going to start us off, and he's going to just start off by sharing his story. And I am really excited about this because I don't think we've ever had a guy, well, maybe Smiley. Maybe there's been 1 or 2 in the last 6.5 years, but this is a very special treat. So go ahead, TJ, tell everyone where you're from, where you live, how long you've been in, and just how it all started.
Well, I am the only guy on this call, so good evening, ladies. Um, my name's Timothy Starr. I do go by TJ. I am from Rock Springs, Wyoming, actually where Tamika lives. We moved to North Platte, Nebraska last year. I was kind of sick of being in the black hole, so they called it. And I mean, they still call it that. So, but I, I'm 29, I'm almost 29. I've been in the business Kayla signed me up about a month after up, and then I decided just to kind of take off with her because I was sick of being gone. I spent 9 years in the oil field, gone every 2 weeks. I worked in every western state possible and even cut through, part of the central United States. And then started working in construction, being a mechanic, and just destroyed my body. I'm, 28 and I feel like I'm 75 years old walking down the street. Sometimes my back hurts so bad, and Kayla's told me about the business, and I was like, just like everybody else. And coming from a man's perspective is kind of what I wanted to touch on. Is I thought it was a pyramid scheme, and it was all bullshit per se, excuse my language. I did read into it and do it quite a bit, and I got online and I read all the nasty things like, oh, this, like it's not going to work, or and I just figured I worked my ass off in the oil field, and why can't I do something for something, being somewhere I want to be, with my kids and being with my wife all day. And that's kind of where I'm at, and that's kind of why I'm here. Hopefully I can change the leadership that I've been in and to something I can access and have fun with.
So answer me this. Had you ever heard of It Works before Kayla signed up for products?
No, not once.
Never ever heard of it. Okay.
Never.
So you guys, I want you guys to put yourself in your own situation. Okay. You're scrolling social media, not TJ, everybody else on this call. You're scrolling social media and you see a product that you want to try, right? You like your comment on that post. Somebody messages you and says, hey, Shayana, so excited. Can I tell you about this skinny coffee? And you're like, yeah, sure. Tell me. Right. And you decide at the end of the conversation that you want to sign up and be a customer. Now, I don't know if Kayla asked you, TJ, or if she just signed up, but when was the first time you heard about the products and what were your thoughts about it, if you can remember?
When she signed up, she it's kind of funny, our relationship. She I've always been at work, so everything's been in her control, so I've kind of just, here, babe, here's here, do what you need to do. Like, as long as you're happy, I'm happy. Is kind of it still is my philosophy to this day, but that's kind of where it was, whatever made her happy. So then she came in, and she didn't start the products until we lived in Nebraska, which I was already out of the oil field then, but she's just said, hey, you're going to try my coffee. Like, I didn't have a choice. I'm like, well, okay. I drank, a pot to 2 pots of actual coffee a day. And she tried it. And of course, I'm just stuck. I was stuck in my own ways. I'm like, no, this isn't for me. I'm not, it wasn't for me. I was still stuck. I didn't believe in it. I didn't want to believe it. And finally I tried it. And, I still, even when I tried it, I didn't want to believe it until I actually got into being a distributor. And then I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's actually let the products become me. And I fell in love with a few of them. There's some of them that I really don't like, and I'm not gonna lie, but some of them I live by.
Right. So let's back it up now a little bit. So Kayla signs up for products. She makes you try some of them. You're like, okay, cool. That's good for you. What was your thought when she decided to switch over to be a distributor?
Quite honestly, she was stupid.
Anybody else's husband, you guys?
Not
drop a one in the comment if your husband was like, you're making a mistake. Drop a one in the comment. Okay. That's okay. Like, yeah.
The only reason why I said that is because I'm an oil field junkie, or whatever you want to call oil field trash or whatever. And I am. I'm still, and I admit it to all of us are adults here. I still admit it. There's still something behind me that is still trying to say, hey, like, don't believe it. 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 I'm pretty sure everybody has all of that there. So I don't know. That's kind of a tough one. It's, I can't explain it, I guess.
Okay. So then now I want you to, so Kayla's joined this business. You're supportive because you love her in that instance, but at the same time, you're skeptical and you're just kind of like, when is it going to fail? When is she going to see the holes and quit and decide?
That's exactly what it was. And, I've always been that, but then once I started reading upon it, and I think it was actually you, it was one of your videos, and I read it. But if you look at the world and people say, oh, what's a pyramid scheme, or it's a pyramid scheme. But if you look at the world, Walmart, we'll just say the biggest corporation in the world, it's a pyramid scheme, right? You got cashiers, then you got the front line, and then you got, what do they call them? The cash register managers, and, so on and so forth, until you're at the CEO. What's the CEO? The very top of the pyramid, right? So everything in a sense is the same exact built formula for a corporation, business, so on and so forth. So I took that and I looked at it and I'm like, maybe I could make this work. Maybe I could make something out of it works to be home. And I did. I bit the bullet and I said, there's somebody in me that needs to come out. I was sick of being always just grumpy, this negative person, oil filled, like, yeah, we're all strong, we're all macho, blah, blah, blah. Like nobody can beat us. In all reality, it's just a game face, because I can almost guarantee you, there's some men out there that'll go home after their hard work and be the exact same person that they were at work, which it's not cool. It ruins your relationships. And I was becoming that person. I never wanted to come home and just do anything fun. I wanted to go on. So I finally just decided, okay, Kayla, what are you doing? Like, what exactly is this business you're doing? And I looked into it.
Hold on, stop just for 1 second, because Candace said something here, and I think you're about to allude into this, but she said he's more supportive since she went to conference in January and seen a positive change in her when she came home. And so I remember I was in St. Lucia and Kayla messaged me and she was like, what do I do with TJ? Like, he just is not happy and I don't know how to help him, and I'm growing and I'm changing and I just don't know what to do. And so I feel like you're about to this point in your story, like what changes did you see in her that made you finally, because if you can relate to this too, guys, I want you to drop a 2 in the comments. So if your spouse has seen a positive change in you, like TJ saw in Kayla, what caused you to turn over to say, I do want to be a part of this with you and I do want to grow with you? Does that make sense?
It does. And I seen a really big positive change. Kayla, she was setting her own mind, her own ways. So I thought, I had a crush on her in junior high. She never knew it, whatever. So I've known her since I was in 7th grade. We became best friends in, 11th grade, and we were stuck at the hip. So I was, we had I can't call it a mistake because it was the most beautiful blessing in my life. And that was, oh, I'm pregnant, a month into dating, I'm pregnant. I'm like, oh boy, what, so I've been with her from day one, right out of high school sweethearts, all the way through our, 10 years of the oil field and the construction, the mechanic life. I'd never thought neither one of us were going to change. We were always going to bicker, fight, argue, whatever. And then she started doing this personal development and she kept trying to get me into it. And I could see that she was happy. We weren't fighting as much. She was trying to avoid the arguments, and then she got me on this book, and it was The Energy Bus. And I fell in love with it. And I'm not a big book person, every now and then, like The Hunger Games was the only book series I've ever read. So I was like, okay, I'll start some audio books. Fell in love with the book. And I was like, there is somebody that needs to come out, like somebody that's there, but I've never, I've always thought to myself, I grew up in a family, like the man makes the money. The man is the one that grinds. So in my head, I always told Kayla, you would never have to worry about a thing. As long as you and my kids were taken care of, I could care less what happened to me, And that's kind of what she's been trying to show me and get it, that everybody matters. You need to take in consideration yourself before you take in consideration me and kids, which I'm still a firm believer, my wife will always come first because I married her. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with her. Shoot, my kids turn 18. I get a boot them to the curb. No, I'm just kidding. Just get a laugh out of that one. But that's kind of where it was. I seen her changing for the better. And I told myself, you know, I wanted to change. I wanted to be happy with myself because quite honestly, I'm still struggling with being happy in my own skin. So it's a win-win situation for me. I get to be home, see everybody grow, see the growth that we can all have. And then now I'm looking at myself like I've never even knew there was somebody in me that was able to do this.
Yeah. And I think there's so many husbands right now that maybe feel stuck and they don't want to say that because it may feel weak or, you know, and so I just appreciate you having the courage to say that. And so I just kind of want to know, if somebody wanted to get their husband involved or invite them to do the business, what are some things that, like, as a guy, you like doing, or how you work it?
You know, it's still I want to call it a wall. I'm going to call it a wall. I can't call it a struggle bus, but I want to call it a wall. There's still part of me where I'm just like, man, I want to get back to the physical work that I know I can do, you know, because I'm still learning this business, and that that's where I feel a lot of troubles are coming with the men, because they think, oh, it's going to make me look weak, which I did. I felt it. I'm still in that speculation. Like, I don't want to feel weak. I don't want to feel like, oh, he's not going to amount to anything. He's not even working, you know, what he used to be, you know, because everybody knows me as that driven, hardworking person. And now they're like, oh, well, he's staying at home, working computer. It's like, really, like, what kind of guy is that? So the only advice I could give you is just let them know, let your significant others know, or your husbands know, that there is more to the world than, you know, I want to say it a different way. So I had an old boss tell me this, and most brilliant man I've ever met. And he told me, you're not going to get as much out of a little picture as you are a bigger picture. Well, what is a little picture to you? Your family, you know, your kids, your home, your life. The bigger picture is what happens in the whole world surrounding you, right? What happens if this person, this person, this person. And it took me until I was doing this business to realize I understand what he's looking at now. They got to, you know, try to get them to look at the bigger picture. You know, if they don't want to quit their job right away because they are afraid of that income, you know, just like, okay, let's start little. You got to look at it as the long-term aspect, and not just like, okay, well, what happens this month, that month, this month. And that's kind of that's what I did. I looked at the bigger picture of the whole business. Yeah.
And so as far as like working goes, how is it different than what Kayla does?
It's really not. It's not any different, you know, just she's what I feel. And I mean, there's guys out there and that are way more bubbly than I am, because I'm not a bubbly guy, you know, on Facebook or Instagram. They're like, oh yeah, look at my new shoes. You know, that's what she's got beaten for me. However, I can, you know, and I've noticed it with this business, it's more of a cutthroat kind of way, I guess, that I've gone about it. I don't try to beat around the bush. I don't say like, I guess I don't want to make this seem wrong, but it's the same, but different, if that makes sense. Just long story short.
You're just not doing like the, hey, how are you? I hope you're having a good day. You're just
kind of, yeah. I'm not being that bubbly type.
You're just like, hey, I got,
and taking out the hearts. And
yeah, exactly. But it's just, the business is ran the exact same way. And this is what I try to tell everybody. The more work you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Right. My dad, you know, he's that hardcore military brat, and he, you know, didn't believe it. But I told him, I sat down and explained it to him one day. I'm like, you know, the more you put into a business, or the more you put into a job, the more you're going to get out of it. So that's, you know, you just got to work it. You only want to make $500. You're only going to put $500 worth of work into it. You want to make, you know, millionaires make $10 million. Well, they put $10 million worth of work into it until they're comfortable. And then they have everybody behind them to be able to do that. And, you know, that's kind of what everybody needs to look at it as. If I want to make this amount of money, you got to put the work in to make that amount of money, or you're never going to get there.
Sure. Okay. Last question. If someone wanted to recruit a guy for being a customer or a distributor, what's the best way to approach it or talk about, or like, what would you say are the overall like skepticisms, or I guess just what's the best way to approach a man? I
You
mean,
know,
you said it wasn't any different, but is there anything, any other?
Okay, it is any different, but what I've noticed is, what do guys like? Back to the oil field junkie. I'm a coffee drinker, energy drink.
Lori, mettez Grace en bas.
Oh, sorry, hold on. Okay.
But the coffee, the energy, like the things that you would think aren't healthy. That's where I start with all, the guys that I'm trying to recruit into being a loyal customer. Being a distributor, you kind of got to go at it and you're at your own risk. Guys are going to be very skeptical about the business. So you got to kind of paint a pretty picture for them. You got to kind of lure them in to see the bigger picture. Start with being a customer at first, because then they're going to be like, okay, maybe, and just like I did, they got to see what's going to come out of it, because at a guy's point of view, if they don't see something coming out of it, they're just not going to even worry about it. They're just going to blow it off on the back burner and say, okay, well, I'm just going to continue my real job, like that, or I can't say a real job, I'm sorry, but like continue the job that I'm at right now.
Well, and you can say real job, because that's what men consider real jobs.
Right.
I mean, even us as women, some of us still downplay our, jobs as being a stay-at-home mom, or like, doing this business and, like go out and get a real job. Like, I mean, we all say those things, but we know that this, we know that it is, but letting them know. And like what you said at the very beginning, going back to like, I do remember talking with Kayla, and I was just like, ask TJ about his hierarchy at the mine, like ask him about, how many people are underground, how many people are, head of the plants, how many people are here, and so I think just like having the light bulb turn on, if you want to sign a guy distributor, of listen, you're already in it, but here's the difference. You can't be the CEO of Walmart, but you can be the CEO of your own company, and helping them see that bigger picture of you're already busting your butt. You want to use the products. You're a hard worker. Now if you're just willing to share, then you'll be great at this. And so did you say you had some tools and resources available, or were you willing to offer? I know I kind of asked you about this a couple days ago.
A couple tips, like, and I haven't really looked to see who was all on. I'm still assuming that we have, most women on. The only thing I can tell you is don't think just because you're, and don't take this in the wrong way, I'm sorry, but don't think going towards a guy, don't go towards a guy any different than you would go towards a woman. Just if you're going to go towards, hey, I want you as a DT because I like your profile, do the same thing that you're going to for a guy. They might look at you down, I guess, per se at the first beginning, but later on, if you're just continue, because that's yourself, why would you want to change your aspect on this person because he's a guy compared to this person because she's a woman? Don't ever change your aspect on who you're trying to encourage. I tried that at the beginning and it didn't work. I thought, oh, I'm a guy, I'm gonna be able, well, long story short, I can sign, I feel more comfortable talking to a woman per se than a dude, because I'm a dude and I know exactly what they're going to think of, and I just don't got time for that. I'm not going to sit here and try to beat around the bush and explain, well, this is why and that's why. Just go into it. If they don't like it, just like, delete them, whatever. With the boards app, if you guys do, another tip, if you guys do sign a male DT, you can send them my way. I don't mind training anybody, but the boards app, if you're talking to a guy, it's just as easy to delete the little heart thing and throw up a good glasses guy or the hang loose or the peace sign. That's all I ever do. I don't try to, I don't overcomplicate it. Everything's right there. All the resources are still right in front of you, whether you're a guy or a gal, it's all in front of you. You just got to work the business. You just got to work.
Yeah. And so TJ does have quote unquote man's board. And so just like you said, if you guys do sign a guy distributor, you know, we are one team, one mission. And so TJ has, you know, volunteered to help. And I know for me personally, I'm just like, oh, because I actually signed a guy after TJ was like all in, and I just feel like they're coming into our space a little bit more. But like for me, I'm just like, here you go, TJ, here you go, like help him post, help him send messages. But like you said, it's not any different. But at the same time, like I just feel like there could be like a good man vibe here on this team. And I've asked TJ too, if because no other team does this, and I feel like it's a need. But you know, it would be nice to get a man Zoom like once a month where all of the guys could just get together and train together. And you know, TJ's all for that when it starts to happen. So I hope that this encourages you guys, and I appreciate you, TJ, sharing all of your tips and
Thank you for having me.
being vulnerable with it all. So, you know, just know that TJ's here, and I think it would be awesome. Like make it a goal to sign a guy distributor this month. Yeah, maybe let's see what happens. Right. And I always tell him whenever I'm talking to him, like, this is like an untapped market because there's not a lot of men who do this, but you know, if we can get enough that do, and then they can break that stereotype of this is a pyramid scam, this is a women's business. Like, hello, our CEO is a man, you know, most CEOs of these MLMs are men. And so like, it's an equal opportunity. And so, yeah, anyway, we got to move on to Caitlin, sorry. Thank you, TJ. Thank you. And
you,
if you guys
guys.
have any other questions, just drop them in the chat, and TJ, just kind of keep your eye on the chat and answer them as they come up. Okay. And if there's time at the end, then we can have you answer some out loud. So Caitlin, you guys get your notebooks. Caitlin has do's and don'ts of social media. Okay. And we all need this in our lives. But first, Caitlin, will you share your story? Sorry.
You know, this is going to take forever, right? Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm 25 years old. I'm married to my best friend. I think every spouse normally is married to their best friend, but I actually joined this business as a loyal customer first. I was a loyal customer. Oh, let's go way back. After I had my daughter in 2014, my mom signed up with a distributor. She lives in Florida. She was one of my mom's friends. Well, she signed up for just the bonus and just left us dry. Didn't have any training, nothing. My mom was not impressed at all. And so a month later, she's like, I'm not doing this. I don't know what I'm doing, nothing, and nobody would help. So she just quit. And so that was in 2014. No, it was 2015 because I had my daughter in 14. But 5 years later, not even 5 years later, 4 years later, I ended up having my son, couldn't lose weight, and I seen one of Tamika's posts, post. So I did host post for her, and I noticed weight loss stuff. So I asked her about it. I got on Thermophyte, and I lost a lot of weight. And she kept asking me almost every month to every other month. And I did ask my husband, it was not a lie when I said I did ask my husband, and he said no, because he thought it was a pyramid scheme. Well, when I signed up on June 7th of 2020, I didn't even ask my husband because I asked him like 5 different times, and I got tired of him telling me no. And at that stage in my life, when I signed up, I stay-at-home mom, homeschooling my daughter, stressed as all get out, no friends, going through a slight depression, and I just needed something for myself. So on my way home to Casper from Riverton, she messages me and she asked me, and I was like, yep, I'm ready to join. And so when I joined, I was go, and nothing was going to stop me, even though I was still having these, I guess, depression state mindset, even though I was getting on mindset calls, like I just needed a switch of something. So I got invited to a retreat in August of last year, and it was a huge mindset thing. Like something flipped in me, like I don't know which part of the retreat it was, but one, I gained friends and it was amazing. Then she had a life, or Tamika set up a life coach. And I think that was one of the biggest mindset things that happened. And I couldn't even explain it. I can just tell you that everybody that was in that park was bawling their eyes out, because we had such a mindset shift in everything. But with that being said, mindset is a huge key factor in this business. And that is what's helped me to this day. Mindset, after I had gotten into arguments with my husband because he still didn't believe in this business. And I know this sounds bad, TJ, but it's the truth, because not all husbands or spouses feel the same way, even if they do have that insight and their spouse has been in the business for a while. I was in the business for 7 months and we got in a huge argument over Christmas. He still didn't believe in the business, nothing. And so I proved him wrong, and I ranked up to Emerald in January, and then in March I ranked up to Diamond because I told him that I was going to prove him wrong. And I did that for myself, and it was a mindset thing for me too. Granted, I probably wasn't ready in my own mindset, but my mindset goal was I'm going to prove him wrong because he told me I can't do it. So I did it anyways. And I'm kind of back into that mindset thing, like, because I did lose my diamond rank and I am in the process of regaining it back. But that mindset shift, when you tell yourself, like, I'm going to prove this person wrong, or this is why I'm going to do this, it makes a whole life-changing difference, like in this business, in life in general, your health, all of it. And so far, our relationship has definitely gotten a lot better, and my business is getting a lot stronger too. So
Okay, I gotta unpack a couple of things. Okay. So you guys, Caitlin signed up as a customer pretty quickly. I don't remember it taking a lot of asks with the customer, and she ordered religiously, like every month for a year, and she was posting for me all the time. And I was like, hey, you should do this business. Hey, you should do this business. She said, let me talk to my husband. I don't have the money, not right now. Sometimes she'd leave me on red, and it was a really, really long time. And then one time I messaged her and she said yes, and I was like, what? Wait, what? Like, I was expecting the no. And like, part of me didn't even want to message her anymore because I was just like, she doesn't want to, like, just leave her alone. And like, I just couldn't leave her alone. And I just kept messaging her. Does anyone, like, drop a 3 if you've got those people in your inbox that you are like, I swear I'm going to block this person. They tell me no one more time. And you're like, well, maybe I'll give them one more chance. Like, oh, that was Caitlin, you guys. And then out of nowhere, she said yes. And I didn't even know what to do. I was like, wait, huh? Okay. So Caitlin got signed up in June. You went Ruby right after the retreat, right?
yep, I went Ruby in September, and then I went Ruby in September.
Yep.
It was right after.
And then what I like about Caitlin's story, you guys, is this is the business. Okay. And if you can't accept this, then you're not going to go very far in this business. You're going to have times where you're on fire, and you're going to have times where you want to quit. You're going to have times where people are very supportive. You're going to have times that people are not supportive. You're going to have times where you rank up, and you're going to have times where you lose your rank. Okay. We have all been through it. And if you haven't yet, you absolutely will. But kind of like TJ said, like, you've got to have the bigger picture. You've got to know that if you just keep working, you're eventually going to get to where you want to go, but you can't just like climb straight up the mountain. Sometimes you have to stop and quote unquote rest, right? Like, grow a little bit more, get a little bit stronger. Sometimes you trip and you fall down a little bit, and you got to stand back up and keep walking up. And so, Caitlin's story is a perfect example of this, because you guys, like, this is success right here. What she's saying, this is success. Wanting to quit, having depression, growing into your leadership, like, that is success. That is not failing. Okay. So hear that. So Caitlin, anything else you want to share about your story, or do you want to get into your tips?
I want to get into my tips, just the nit and gritty, because there are some good stuff in here. And yes, Kayla, it is all about your work ethic, and I can't talk today, sorry, your work ethic and mindset. So I'm just going to go through it. I have a lot of do's and I have a few don'ts, but there are a lot of more don'ts if you just want to get really into it, because you can break it down even more. But for my do's, I have think pictures. Posts that include pictures generally receive more interactions, comments, likes, and shares than posts without photos. And I've noticed that personally in my own feed. Anything that I post really without a picture, I get maybe 1 to 5 likes, and that's it. Stick to posting schedules, like I can't read my handwriting, give complete control of your content strategy. I cannot talk and I'm butchering all this. I apologize. Strategy of the time you invest on your Facebook market or any other market that you have, and stay consistent without losing track of your other marketing activities. Ask questions to your audience, let fans and would be soon to be customers to take control of the conversation by asking them thoughtful questions about the problems you're facing so you can learn of better ways to help them solve them. Always boost your most successful posts, such as comment on older posts that were successful for you, and also comment on your host to posters posts, because that gives you one more engagement and potentially give you more customers because it boosts up their posts as well. Stick to your goals. Make sure that your marketing activities is congruent with your current goals. If your current goal is to reach more people, then publish more discoverable posts and boost them. And adding friends. When adding friends, use posts like friends posts that have a lot of likes or comments, and look through all of their profiles that you say you want to be friends with them. And also check out their friends to see if they are friends with any other distributors in the business, because you don't want to have any conflict with any other distributors, especially if it's somebody that's in the pack. Now we're gonna get to story slides, because story slides is
Hold
a
on.
huge
Just
thing.
1 second before you get into story slides. So
Yeah.
those were dues. I took notes. I hope you guys took some notes too. Can you elaborate on posting schedules? The second thing that you said.
So posting schedules. So sticking to your posting schedule, you want to have complete control over your content, such as your you post, your product post, and your business post, and an engagement post. You want to post something every single day, of course, because you want to keep your algorithms up. If you have trouble posting at like certain times, set an alarm, because you want to stay consistent with your Facebook, because oh, let me backtrack. So your friends are all on Facebook at certain times. They'll see some of your stuff and sometimes they won't, just because you post at different times. If you just post at random times, a lot of the times they're not going to see them. Does that make sense? So just set alarms if you have troubles posting, but try to post at the same time every day.
Thank you. I just wasn't sure. Thanks.
Yeah, not a problem. Okay, my last one for my do's for the story slides. Engage on friends' stories, comment on them, like them. It'll boost your algorithms for your newsfeed and also your stories. And make your story slides more about you, the products, and also your engagement posts or your stories. And on every single one of them, put polls on them, like I shouldn't say every single one of them, but most of them. On the very last one, if you have a question or something, put a poll up, because it's easier for them to know, like, yeah, I really want this. And when you do a poll, don't do a yes, no, do a yes, yes. Like, say a product post. Yes, I want to try this out. I want to lose this weight, or anything like that. Like, always make it a yes, yes. Does anybody have any questions on the do's? Yes, Kayla, show your face. That is a big one because they want to see you. And I'm actually going to get into that on my don'ts. So, okay. So for my don'ts, I actually really like this one. My don't is don't use a dummy personality. Be authentic. If you're tempted to use a dummy profile to protect your privacy, be aware that customers won't be able to trust you, your brand, if you don't show them your face. So make sure that you present yourself as the person behind the brand because nobody wants to buy from a robot. Don't hit the share button. That is a big no-no. Just don't do it. You don't want to share. You don't want to do a third-party share, post, or even your memories. I know that sucks, but don't do it. You want to copy them or save the picture and post it again if it's a memory. But if it's a third-party post, copy it, paste it into your wall. Say like there's a missing child. Just copy and paste it and tag that person that did it. Because, well, the reasoning behind it is because Facebook algorithms will think that those are very more important than the posts that you actually post on your feed. And in this business, we don't want that. Another one, because I've actually done this before and it's not good. It was when I first started. Don't argue with an unsatisfied customer. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever argued with a customer. Because I'm betting I'm not the only one though. It wasn't really a huge argument, but I shouldn't even say it was an argument. Just, I don't even know how to explain it, but I could say that it's an argument. So don't argue with unsatisfied customers. Don't reply with an angry comment to a rude customer. Simply reply in a professional manner and try to help fix their problem. And even that goes with posts. Like if somebody comments something rude on a post, like a hosted poster, I get those a lot. I get a bunch of hosted posters. And some of them are negative comments like, oh, this is just a scheme or it's a scam or these products don't work. Don't be rude. Don't do anything like that. Normally, I just delete the comment because the fact of it being that's their own opinion and everybody has their own opinion and it's going to just be the customer's opinion, of course, on if it actually works or not because everyone's different. So, another one that I've noticed is, well, my Facebook has been acting really weird lately. I don't know what's going on with it, but I post and people post or comment on it, but I don't get a notification on it for a day or so after. So I don't know if it's just mine or not, but that ties into this one. Don't be slow to response or engage. Facebook users expect a quick response to their comments and to their messages. Yes, time management is key, so try to respond to them within an hour or two. Don't ignore the Facebook terms and conditions. That is a big one because ignoring Facebook terms of use is an easy way to violate a rule and get your account suspended without knowing why, or even Facebook jail. How many of you have been in Facebook jail? So far, I have not, surprisingly, I have not yet. So Facebook jail, another easy way to get into it is by copying, pasting, and messaging a lot of people because they think you're a robot. So posting too many times. So use the tools provided, like boards, because that's going to be a lifesaver for one. Oh no, you're currently in jail. That's not fun. Do you guys have any questions about the don'ts?
Yes, I do. Why don't you add friends? Like, why don't you just go click, 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 click?
Do you do that a lot? Well, I personally don't do that, but you want to kind of know the person that you're going to be friends with. Personally, that's my opinion. But another one is because you want to be friends with them. You want them to be able to be interested in that product or whatever you have to offer to them, because you don't want to really add a stranger. And well, of course they're a stranger, but somebody that you really don't want to be friends with, like a hacker or something like that, because I've had my profile hacked before and it's not fun. And my mom's as well, to the point that she lost thousands of dollars. Somebody hacked into because she was friends with somebody that she wasn't supposed to be. So, especially if your bank is tied to your card is tied to your Facebook, which doing Facebook Pay, receiving money and sending money, a lot of the times they are. But that's just in my opinion as to why I don't just do that, but I don't know anyone else's opinion on that. But I like to know who I'm going to be friends with.
You get put in Facebook jail if you do that. Just saying.
Okay, well, I've never been in Facebook jail, so I couldn't tell you that one.
All right, Claudine's got a question, and then we'll wrap it up. So go ahead, Claudine.
Hey, thanks for doing this tonight. I just have a question. I don't know if you ever experienced that, especially when I'm posting, let's say a product or something. Have you ever got a little notification at the bottom that says, are you selling something, to let people know about? So what do you do in that case? Because I'm noticing that I'm getting that a lot, and I try to just avoid it, but I can't for some reason.
I have that happening too, so I'm not entirely sure how to answer that question on how to get rid of that.
Oh, exit. But it always like, okay.
Can I tell you how to get rid of it? When you make the post, click on the three dots at the top, and there's an option to remove it.
Okay, that's good to know because I didn't know that. Well, thank you.
Yeah, and so one thing that I do, Claudine, when I have that pop up is I'm like, man, I made this sound like a salesy post that Facebook knew. And so sometimes I try to reword it, and I try and trick Facebook. It's like a game, try and trick it to make it think that you were not selling something. So thank you, Caitlin. I know you took really amazing notes, so I might just have you post them to the pack page too for everyone. That would be great. So you guys, be sure to take these tips and start utilizing them. Otherwise, it does no good. Okay. And even if it's just one or two, make small shifts in your business. And then you'll get in the habit of it. And then you'll be able to incorporate a couple new things, a couple new things. But when it's all said and done, consistency is key. You may make some posts, you may send some messages, you may talk to people, and you may not get a response, you may not get the results that you want, but consistency is key. Okay, now I see some hands that are raised, so I'm gonna go. Okay, we'll hurry and go through the questions. Go ahead, Amanda, and then Heather.
Okay, I noticed when I go on my Facebook and I put a product post or something up, they ask me if I would like to advertise it. And another thing is I've been asked if we can do a party, like It Works party with the products.
If you would like to, you absolutely can. You can create your own online party and do a Facebook group or event for it. You can do a party at somebody's house, all of that. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.